Hello, my name's Catherine Arnold. I'm a student studying at Atlantic College. I've recently conducted a World Studies EE on the topic of asylum seekers. However, I'm just going to tell you a bit about how I came to be at Atlantic College. So, Atlantic College is part of a UWC movement which brings together people and cultures for a peaceful and sustainable future. So, quite in line with the IB aims, that is. And I used to volunteer for the Red Cross as a shop assistant. And I was really inspired by their motto of helping whoever they are, wherever they are. So helping anyone who needs help, that is. And I saw that Atlantic College had a lifeboat team, and I now work for this team. And it's been a really brilliant 2 years experience. And the World Studies EE has helped me to develop my global consciousness as well as my subjects. So I'm currently studying economics, biology and English higher level, and then peace and conflict studies, which is a school-based subject, and math studies and French at a standard level, as well as the TOK course. And well, these subjects have really helped me to explore, what are my interests? Because if I had been doing a A-level course instead, I would have probably chosen all sciences and not ventured into the humanities and languages. And I've discovered, particularly through my extended essay, that my interests perhaps lay outside the scientific framework. So I'm really interested in the humanities now, especially when they can be used in a significant real-life context. So at the end of my first year at Atlantic College, I was faced with the task of the extended essay, which is a monstrous 4,000-word research essay, and most students fear the extended essay, and it has many names such as the extended excruciation and many others like that. But I really wanted to write an essay about something which meant something to me. And in the summer before arriving at Atlantic College, I'd done a work experience week with the British Red Cross in the Newport area. And one of the projects I visited was a Asylum Seekers clothing support project. And this really introduced me to the topic of refugees and asylum seekers in the UK. And it's quite a global issue, however, with local significance, as refugees can come from any country in the world and are defined as seeking protection from persecution. So I decided that I'd like to structure my essay on something to do with this minority group. And I was particularly concerned by the lack of support available for asylum seekers. So when a refugee arrives in the UK, they defined as an asylum seeker, seeking this refugee status. However, they're not allowed to work or receive more than £35 a week support. And along with language difficulties, it must be extremely difficult period in someone's life. So I decided to base my extended essay on prejudice and discrimination against asylum seekers in the UK, with the emphasis on what we can do to help them. So the subjects I chose were economics, peace and conflict, and politics. So the interdisciplinary nature of my World Studies extended essay allowed me to draw some links between subjects to create quite complex ideas. So, for an example, how much of the UK budget do you think is spent on asylum seekers per year? I mean, from a purely economic point of view, the 0.078% that's spent on supporting asylum seekers who cannot work themselves, so this is all the support they have their housing and food, it seems quite a small proportion, 0.078. And from a purely economic point of view, it's virtually impossible to explain discrimination. However, if we take into account the effect of the media, for example, out of the 98 asylum seekers in the UK, there was 99 articles written about asylum seekers in 2010. So this is more than one article per asylum seeker. And the language used, such as negative phrases, such as stealing our money, it really sort of creates a negative halo around the phrase asylum seeker. So this is taking into account peace and conflict theories and helping us to explain a quite complex cycle of prejudice and discrimination, which from one perspective, so from the peace and conflict perspective, on its own perhaps it would be equally difficult to explain. I found the World Studies essay was quite challenging when bringing together subjects, but the process of bringing together these different disciplines itself greatly helped me with my understanding of the nature of the subjects, for example. And this is why I decided to go on to study international politics after the IB, as I really discovered a lot about what the subject involves. And I found the World Studies essay quite a rewarding subject. And I went on to create some projects based on what I'd found out. So once I'd finished my extended essay, I reached the point, so what do I do now? I found out a lot about this global issue, and it is really a global issue, as refugees in the UK can come from anywhere in the world, that is. And I decided to perhaps share my understanding with some other students. So I led a series of 6 lessons about asylum seekers and refugees in the UK. And from that group, a couple of us decided that perhaps we'd like to do some real CAS work, perhaps, so give some service to the refugees in the UK. And so we developed a project with the help of a teacher where we would go to Cardiff and teach refugees how to speak English. We've joined with Cardiff University in this project. So this Wednesday I'm doing a course in teaching English as a conversion from another language. And I've met many refugees in this project, and some have quite remarkable stories, and I've really been able to see these people as people rather than just figures, as you can see in my extended essay, but policies regard figures rather than people. And I think the World Studies essay, it was a real education for me, as rather than just learning abstract theories, as I've done for courses in the GCSEs particularly, it allowed me to really understand a contemporary issue and then go on to do something about it with my classes and now the teaching English. And I'm quite inspired by the nature of a World Studies essay, and I'd really recommend it to other students and, of course, staff hoping to help out their students with this process.